It is hard to believe that once popular tourist destinations, with luxurious resorts and expensive hotels, can suddenly become empty, losing popularity for various reasons, losing tourists and standing abandoned for many decades, slowly collapsing and reminding of their popularity only from the old ones. Photos. Today we will look at 5 abandoned hotels that were very popular until recently, but today they are overgrown with vegetation and lose an unequal battle with time. Hotel Haljadovo Palace, Croatia. Located on the coast of the Croatian island of Krk. At the time of opening, the hotel complex was an upscale, by Eastern European standards, place for recreation, which was considered the most luxurious in Yugoslavia. On the day, guests of the Haljadovo Palace Hotel ate about 100 kilograms of lobsters, 5 kilograms of caviar and hundreds of bottles of expensive champagne. They also spent money mercilessly in the casino. At various times, athletes, actors, dignitaries and government leaders from all over the world have vacationed at the Haljadovo Palace Hotel. The main investor and co-owner of this hotel was the creator and owner of the men's magazine Penthouse, Bob Guccione. The opening of the ambitious Haljadovo Palace Hotel and the Penthouse Adriatic Club Casino took place in 1972 after 4 years of construction. The hotel was designed for 1,500 guests and 500 staff members. Despite being popular with the wealthy, the short season made the hotel barely self-sustaining. The golden age of the hotel did not last long. During the war in Yugoslavia in the 1990s, the region became less attractive for tourists, the tourism industry died here, and with it this paradise, the tourists disappeared, and refugees occupied their rooms. Hotel Baker, USA. This hotel closed in the distant 1963 and can plunge lovers of abandoned buildings into the past. The small town of Mineral Wells is little known outside of Texas. It is located 130 kilometers west of Dallas and is rich in mineral springs. In order to attract tourists to these places in 1920, it was decided to build a large and luxurious hotel. The result was Baker, which opened in 1929 and prospered for the next 2 decades. At the peak of the hotel's popularity, movie stars and future presidents of the day stayed there. Over time, the popularity of Mineral Wells as a spa resort waned, and with it the enthusiasm of the hotel owner, Earl Baker, disappeared. He promised to close Baker after his 70th birthday in 1963, and he kept his promise. In 1967, Baker died of a heart attack. His body was found on the floor of a hotel room. Since the closure, several attempts have been made to restart the hotel, including as a luxury resort, but none have been successful. Castello di Samazzano. Few hotels boast a history as intricate as this castle, which towers over Tuscan villages 10 kilometers southeast of Florence. To describe it simply as a hotel would underestimate the history of this place. Samazzano was built at the beginning of the 17th century, and for many centuries it was a noble nest of wealthy gentlemen. As the Hotel Samazzano opened in the 1970s, it had 365 plush rooms. The maintenance of the hotel was too expensive. He lacked solvent customers, and in the end the castle was abandoned. It was in a kind of vacuum. It cannot be demolished because of its historical and cultural value, but it is also too expensive to restore. In the 2000s, the building was bought by an Anglo-Italian company with big plans for its restoration. In 2012, a campaign was launched to save the castle from final ruin. Today, this building still stands frozen in time, keeping its centuries-old secrets. Germa Palace. In the early 80s, a huge 4-star hotel was opened in the small Maltese fishing village of Marsaskala on the seashore, which was supposed to turn this place into a popular resort. The largest hotel complex in the southern part of the island included 345 rooms located on 4 floors, had its own promenade, restaurant, bar, swimming pools, amphitheater, tennis court, and other amenities. This hotel actually belonged to Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. The land for it was bought in 1976 by the Libyan Arab Foreign Investment Company, which was controlled by the colonel's government. Germa Palace opened in 1982. At first, the hotel did well. Gaddafi had his own presidential number there, which he could use at any time. The hotel was ruined by bad location. Marsaskala is located in the southeast of Malta, away from the main tourist cities of the island. Perhaps the owners and designers of Germa Palace overestimated the amount of tourist flow to Marsaskala, which is located a little away from the main Maltese tourism centers Valletta, Slima, and St. Julian's. The hotel has never been fully occupied in its history, and in the early 2000s, it completely stopped paying for itself. Today, the complex is a ruin unsuitable for restoration, the territory of which the locals have chosen for picnics and outdoor recreation. From the courtyard, fenced off from the rest of the land by a massive hotel building, a beautiful view of the sea opens up. Hachiho Royal. The 1960s were a tumultuous time for the Izu archipelago, islands of volcanic origin south of Japan's largest island of Honshu. The country was recovering from the Second World War, and a new generation ready to travel contributed to this. Despite their relative proximity to central Japan, the Izu Islands were perceived by its inhabitants as something exotic. The place was even nicknamed Japanese Hawaii. The most popular among tourists was the island of Hakajajima, located 320 kilometers south of Tokyo. In 1963, it opened the Hotel Royal, a Baroque-themed fantasy with ostensibly Greek statues and fountains in the courtyard. Until 1960, this place was popular, but political changes opened up the whole world to the Japanese, and domestic tourism lost its former popularity. Royal barely survived until the early 2000s, working at a loss. The Izu archipelago is far from the most popular tourist destination, and in 2006 the hotel finally closed. The building and courtyard of the hotel quickly began to absorb the local flora. In some places the trees even sprout right in the rooms. Friends, write your comments about which of the hotels impressed you more than the others, and what other abandoned places you would like to see new releases about. Well, that's all for today. Thank you all for watching. If it was interesting, support the video with likes. Thank you for subscribing, and take a look at what else we have prepared for you.